Welcome back to CTV for our first show of the semester. I'm Steven Starcer, joined alongside by our newest sports anchor, Travis Green.
We've got a lot to catch up on from the postseason volleyball through a shot clock controversy in the latest men's basketball game.
But first, we've got some breaking news. Former Louisville Cardinal forward Chane Behanan has decided to transfer to CSU. Behanan visited CSU and Moby Arena during the Air Force basketball game last Saturday. He was kicked off the Cardinals team in December for violating team policy. The 6'5", 250-pound forward announced today that he will be bringing his talents to Fort Collins. Travis, what does this mean for next year's team?
Well, Steve, this means we're getting an ex-champion from Louisville from last season. He won the championship with them, and he was a big piece of that team. He had 10 points per game last year, and he had 6.5 rebounds the whole season. It's a big boy. We're going to get a big guy down there, 6'6", 250 pounds, so I think he's going to look great in CSU green and gold.
Yeah, he actually played against the Rams last year in the NCAA tournament. Didn't have a huge game against them, but recorded a big-time double-double in the national championship game against Michigan. So he's bringing back some experience to the Rams of being able, a guy who's played in big-time games here on the college level. Looking forward to seeing him in the green and gold next year.
Definitely. That should make next season very exciting, Stephen, but this season ain't over yet. In a rematch from their earlier meeting, the Rams took on the New Mexico Lobos on Saturday. The Rams lost in Albuquerque earlier this month in the pit, but CSU has had much more success against UNM in Moby Arena. Unfortunately for the Rams, though, they lost in a tight one as the Lobos squeezed out a win over the Rams by a score of 68-66. The game was marked with controversy, though, as a shot clock operating error gave New Mexico a few extra seconds to stall. This left the Rams with no choice but to stop the clock by fouling, trailing by 2 points. With what would have been the correct amount of time, the Rams would have had a chance to make a defensive stop with 5 more seconds to get a shot off. Head coach Larry Eustace was not too happy with the outcome.
And 5 seconds is plenty of time to drive it up the court if you have one hard stop and win the game. So all of a sudden I look up and I'm going, something's wrong with this movie. It says 19 seconds on the shot clock, just 19 seconds on the game clock. And that's not the case.
So, Stephen, this was obviously a rough way to lose the game, but what were your thoughts on it?
I was happy with the Rams' performance in this game. I thought they fought extremely hard all the way to the end. It was unfortunate that it come down to, probably some controversy there late. Give the Lobos credit, though. Hugh Greenwood hit some big-time late threes, and Kendall Williams, probably a guy who's going to be playing in the NBA, hit some big-time threes, got the Rams once again at Moby Arena. But I think the Rams still have a lot to look forward to this season. A lot of games left in conference play, Travis. Who are you looking for, or who do you think to this point in the season for the Rams has stepped up and kind of helped carry the load?
I think up to this point in the season, our big guy has been Chane Behanan, personally. He struggled at the start of the season, was shooting 25% behind the three-point line because he's a shooter. And since conference play started, he's shooting 45%, which would put him up in the upper ranks of the NCAA. And you look at Daniel, he's a guard, but he's 46th in the nation in rebounds. He has 9 rebounds a game, and that's not typical. So he's obviously down there working really hard.
Yeah, I've been impressed with Behanan. Also very impressed with J.J. Avila. He's been the big guy down low for the Rams. Not as tall as maybe some of the other big guys in the nation, but he's got those big, broad shoulders. Works very well down the paint. Good rebounder. He's also one of the best playmakers for this Rams team. Hasn't been shooting the ball all that well late, but I'm looking forward to him and Beha kind of carrying this team as the season moves forward. And women's basketball team is looking like a brand new team after last year's rebuilding season. They defeated 6 of their 7 opponents over the holiday break. The Rams averaged more than 70 points during that stretch, scoring a game high of 101 points against San Jose State. In the same game versus the Spartans, freshman Ellen Nystrom scored 11 points, brought down 14 rebounds, and dished out 10 assists to clinch CSU's first triple-double in both men and women's basketball history. In their most recent game versus New Mexico, the Rams broke a 16-year losing streak to the Lobos. The 62-57 win, combined with UNLV's loss to Fresno State, put the Rams in first place of the Mountain West Conference. This Wednesday, the Rams will take on the University of Nevada in Moby Arena at 7 p.m. Travis, it's been fun to watch this team this year. Definitely a little bit different than what we saw out of last year's team. That's for sure. I mean, it's the second season under Coach Williams, and you're seeing the whole team play well together. I mean, we got the senior, we got Sam Martin, she's scoring 12 points per game, and Caitlin Duffy's got 10 points per game. And we're getting it from both sides. Like you said, Nystrom, she's a freshman, leading the team in rebounds from Sweden. So we're getting it from all over. This team's playing really well together. Yeah, 5 players right now on this team averaging at least 9.5 points per game. So everyone's stepping up on this team right now, chipping in when they need to. just the one loss in conference play so far. It was a tough one on the road, but right now they have to like the position that they're in. Looking forward to see this team keep on improving. And coming up next, running back Capri Bibbs announced he will declare for the NFL draft. Is he making the right choice?
This news, of course, came after CSU's big win in the Gildan New Mexico Bowl last month. We'll tell you why the football team's future is brighter, even without Bibbs.
Right now, they're a champion of the Gildan New Mexico Bowl. And last time I checked, there's only one of those, and I'm proud of them.
Take my hand and start a brand new day. And together as one we'll start to see some change.
Underneath everything we are, underneath everything we do, we are all people, connected, interdependent, united. And when we reach out a hand to one, we can influence the condition of all. That's what it means to live united.
The volleyball team had a fantastic regular season, losing just one game, but the Rams failed to go deep in the NCAA tournament, losing in the first round to Cal State Northridge. 28-1 regular season, Travis, but once again the Rams one and done in the NCAA tournament.
I don't think we can be too disappointed here. I mean, 28-1, like you said, the team did a great job this season, and it's a young team, so we have the future's even brighter for us going forward. So I don't think there's too much to frown upon. Yes, we got bounced in the start, but now we have that experience. We've been there. We've been through this. So I think the future's very bright for us.
Yeah, pretty young team, bringing back a lot of players. We lose 3 seniors and the big freshman and Michelle Lawrence. She's transferring to a California school. But I think we're bringing back enough players who got valuable experience this year. Also bringing in some new ones. We got one foreign player coming from overseas. I'm excited to see what this team could do next year. Hopefully, we could kind of get over that NCAA tournament hump and make something happen.
I definitely think we're all there with you, Steve. Although volleyball has struggled during postseason play, the Rams football team pulled out a thriller in its first bowl game since 2008. Steven, this game was incredible. It was a great game.
There's no other words to describe it, Travis. This team came out there, gave up a lot of points in the first half. Holiday was throwing the football all over the place, but the Rams kept it within striking distance. And then towards the end, it was just a remarkable finish. You had Shaq Barrett stepping up, the senior, getting the job done, getting those fumbles late. Had the phenomenal play calling, get the Statue of Liberty play for the 2-point conversion. And then we get the game-winning field goal. Jared Roberts, he's been so clutch for this team. So happy for the seniors to go out with a bowl victory in their final season. A lot to talk about with this team. It was a great way to end the season.
Of course, and I think you saw this team, they just wanted to win this game so bad. I mean, it felt like we weren't going to lose with the 2 straight Shaq Barrett making those fumbles caused, and you saw Capri Bibbs do what he did all season. And even though we gave up a lot of passing yards, which people were worried about, we still persevered and got the win.
Yeah, and Travis, with all of head coach Mac's success that he's had at CSU in just the 2 years, do you see him sticking around for a while, or maybe?
I don't know. I see him staying here and building up for a few years, like we saw with Coach Peterson from Boise State. He left after building it up at Boise State and went to Washington. I think what we might see here with Coach Mac is he might do the same thing, and if he gets the perfect job for him, he'll leave, but maybe he wants to stay here. Who knows?
Yeah, I got a gut feeling that he wants to stay around at least for a few more years, continue to build up this program. Also, would like to note Weston Richburg and Crockett Gilmore, 2 seniors getting to play in that Senior Bowl. Congratulations to them. I think their stock went up. Hopefully we'll see a couple of Rams playing on Sundays.
Yeah. And of course, we can't talk about McElwain's success this season without also bringing up Capri Bibbs. Steve, what are your thoughts on Capri from this season?
Well, the guy came into the season as the 3rd or 4th string running back, but there you see him in the Rocky Mountain Showdown getting one of his 2 touchdowns. He had a crucial fumble in that game, but the kid only got better as the season moved forward, continued to just carry the workload in the running game for the Rams, running behind that great offensive line. Had some big-time games, record-setting games for the Rams this season. I think he's making the right choice in declaring for the NFL draft, though I don't see his stock getting any higher than it was at the end of this season with all the records that he broke. So I'm hoping that he gets drafted, and we'll see what he can do at the next level.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, Steve, on that one, because if you ask people around campus who's Capri Bibbs, a lot of them wouldn't have known at the start of the season because he started off as 3rd string, but he wound up putting up the greatest season of running backs ever had here at CSU with rushing yards per game. He had 31 touchdowns. Going into the draft, he's in the names of Barry Sanders and Monty Ball with over 30 touchdowns. So great names to be with when you're heading into the draft.
No question about it, Trev. And of course, we can't have a sports show in Fort Collins without talking about the Denver Broncos.
Coming up next, we'll join everyone else in the state by discussing what their chances are of becoming world champions.
All right, give me a spot. You know my motto, safety first.
They could be dangerous. I think we should call animal control.
Animal control?
To be safe.
Don't worry.
Just...
I got this. It's a new motto.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who don't need perfection. They need you.
Welcome back, Stephen. This historic Broncos team broke just about every offensive record in the book that they could, yet many fans will probably see the season as a failure if we don't bring home the championship.
Yeah, I think I'm right there with all those fans. Last year, had the great season, went #1 seed into the playoffs, lost the devastating game to the Ravens. I think ever since that game, this Denver team has been on a mission to go all the way this year. I don't think it's enough to just make it there. I think they want to bring back rings from New Jersey.
I'm right there with you again. I mean, if you look at the 2007 Patriots, they broke every record possible, just as our team broke all their records, and that was, I think a lot of people would say that's one of the most disappointing seasons to not get a championship. So it'd be very rough for us to explain that we won't win the championship.
And Seattle quarterback Richard Sherman made headlines with his post-game antics after the NFC title game. He was trash-talking San Francisco wide receiver Michael Crabtree, saying, quote, "I'm the best corner in the game. When you try me with a sorry receiver like Crabtree, that's the result you're going to get." Travis, obviously, the guy goes out there and makes a pretty bold statement after the game. What are your thoughts about Sherman and his comments after the NFC playoff game and coming into this Broncos game?
I mean, yeah, it's really bold when you look at it, but that's what you got to be a successful defensive player like him, where he's covering the best receivers in the game every game, and he's shutting them down. Led the league in interceptions over the past 2 seasons. What he's doing obviously works for him. He's a smart guy, so why not keep doing it? I mean, whatever works for you, right?
Yeah, as a defensive coach, I think you love to have those kind of passionate players back there. It just gives your defense confidence. He's going to be a leader out there, getting everyone fired up. Obviously, he's backed it up with his play the last couple of years. You could argue that he is the best cornerback in all of the National Football League. But at the same time, I think most people would like to maybe see him turn it back a notch in those post-game press conferences. It's a little bit different. Some people were actually really excited they went out there and said what he did. Other people's obviously more old school, didn't think that there's any room for that on television. But we'll see how it happens. We'll see. Hopefully the Broncos could have success going to him. Obviously, Demaryius Thomas is a very capable wide receiver. Going to be a fun matchup to watch those two battle it out on Sunday.
That's for sure. I mean, we've got great receivers going against great DBs. This defense is one of the best defenses we've seen in NFL history. So offense and defense going up against each other is going to be interesting.
And that should do it for tonight's show. We'll have all the updates and more next week on Monday night. For Stephen Starcer and Travis Green, have a good night, everyone.